Hi folks, today I'm going to be going over the Worm Lab wrap-up. Alright, so if you look at the first question, it says to summarize the behavior of the worms. You will need to collaborate with other groups to glean all of the necessary information. This means it is okay to talk with your peers. So you should have done one of these toxins, okay? One of these toxins you did in your lab, so you should fill out that information. So if yours was caffeine, the low concentration that was cup 1, what did the worms do? Summarize. Cup 2 was the medium and cup 3 was the high concentration. Summarize. Then speak with your peers for the other two toxins to get the information. That's for question 1. Okay. For question 2, based on this data table, which substance do you think is the most toxic? We were thinking about how the worms behaved, which was more toxic and something else based on their behavior. Okay, this is a what do you think question. Don't worry about being right. All right. For question 3, what are some other toxins that you would be interested in testing? It's just whatever you think. So for example, one student said he would be interested in testing bleach, and he thought that the bleach would kill the worms. Perfect example, exactly what we should do for that. All right. For the next page, okay, this is where we get into lethal dose again. So you're looking at the lethal dose for the 3 substances we tested on the words, nicotine, ethanol, and caffeine. Now, according to the lethal doses for question 1, which substance is most toxic? So you want to think now about what makes a good poison. So, you know, the best poison is not the one that you have to give the person a whole plate full of and a spoon and say, hey, or eat this, and they got to shovel it into their mouth. That doesn't make a very good poison. A good poison is something that you can use just a tiny, tiny bit of. So you want to think, according to these numbers, which would you need to use the least of in order to reach a lethal dose? Okay? So think about that. I'll tell you the answer is not ethanol. And then the second part, does that fit with what you observed in the worms? That's asking you to go back to question 2, which substance you thought was most toxic. All right? Is the substance you thought here for question 2 on the front the same as you put based on the lethal doses on the back? For question 2, some person whose name I can't pronounce is quoted as saying, the dose makes the poison. Explain what this means. Why is it not only important what poison you use, but also how much you use? You can think about that. For question 3, would it take more alcohol to kill a worm or a human? Explain. My guess is you have some intuitions about is it easier to kill a worm or to kill a human? And for the 4th question, this is the one I want to go over a little bit longer. Okay. 1 caffeine pill contains 200 milligrams of caffeine. How many pills would be a lethal dose for a 132-pound adult? All right, so there's a few pieces of information you're going to need to answer this question. One thing you're going to need, the weight of the person. Definitely going to need that. Another thing you'll need is this relationship here at the beginning of the question, where 1 pill weighs 200 milligrams. 1 pill weighs 200 milligrams. You'll also need that. And the last piece of information you'll need is up at the top. So we were talking about caffeine. Okay. So 200 milligrams of caffeine for every 1 kilogram of the body. All right, so those are the 3 things you need. You always start the thing that's given in the question. Okay. So 132 pounds, put it over 1. You may be wondering why I started with this 132 and not these milligrams over here. If you notice, this is just a statement. The actual question starts right here at this how. How many pills would be a lethal dose for a 132-pound person? So I'm talking about a person, and the question's asking me how many pills. So I start here, okay, and not back here at this statement. I will need this eventually, but that's not where I start. So pounds over 1. Okay. I know that eventually I'm going to need to get to kilograms. Okay, so I need to cancel out the pounds and get to kilograms. And at this point, you probably have this one memorized, that 1 kilogram is the same as 2.2 pounds. Okay, allows me to cancel out my pounds. I'm now in kilograms. Next, I need to cancel my kilograms. So in 1 kilogram of the body, there are 200 milligrams of caffeine. Cancel my kilograms. And last, the question asked me for pills. Oops, not an equal sign. Multiplication. Question asked me for pills, so I need to cancel out the milligrams. Get to pills. 1 pill has 200 milligrams. All right. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to multiply straight across. So 132 times 1 times 200 times 1 over 1 times 2.2 times 1 times 200. And when you do that, you'll get your final answer. Come see me if you have any more questions.